Hello fellow Clashers, welcome to another episode of Kairos Coaches. Today we're going to be talking about how to play and how to defeat Lava Hound decks. Now this first deck that you're taking a look at right here that I've made is a Lava Hound deck that includes the Miner. If you have these two legendary cards, this deck is so strong right now, even against the giant poison meta that we're seeing a lot of right now. Now I took the time to pause right here so that we could talk about our opening hands. Obviously, a StalliOnDuck is going to be placing down that Elixir Collector. That's the best move that he can do right now, unless he tries to go for a push, but he doesn't know what kind of deck that I have. And so it's very clear that he's going to want to put that Elixir Collector down. Probably in front of his King's Tower, unless he is willing to try and defend behind one of his other towers if I do have the Miner up. That being said, on my side of things, I don't really have a great opening hand. I want to try and get that Lava Hound out, and I know that my next card isn't the Lava Hound, so I want to try and play a little bit defensively. So that means that my obvious choice is the Tombstone. Both of us go ahead and place that down right now, and we're in an interesting situation now. I know that he has less elixir than I do, and I have to place down my cards before he is forced to do so. I don't want to waste any elixir, so I go ahead and place down those goblins and hope that he doesn't have something to answer to them. Of course, that's probably a little naive of me. Almost all decks right now have a zap in there, and so I imagine that he's going to be doing something like that. But nonetheless, I didn't really have a great option and wanted to pull something out of him, and he plays down the poison, which is great for me. Now, I wouldn't recommend in this situation StalliOnDuck placing down the poison. It probably would have been better for him to defend against those goblins and the skeletons with either a distracting skeleton right in the circle that I'm showing right there, that tile right there, or by simply just zapping them. By doing that, he's going to be saving 2 or 3 elixir depending on which he goes for, and that's going to be a better option for him because he's going to be able to save that poison for a later moment. Now right here, I am nearly full on elixir. I do not want to waste that elixir, and so the situation is set. I'm ready to use my Lava Hound, so I will go ahead and place that down. And StalliOnDuck does exactly what he should do right here. He rushes the other lane. This is a very good thing for him to do right now, especially because when I place down that Lava Hound, I only have 3 elixir. Now, I do have both the minions and the Mega Minion and the Tombstone along with the Goblins that I can use to defend. Now, he knows that I've already placed down my Goblins and my Tombstone, and so he goes for a Mini P.E.K.K.A. Ice Spirit push. That is excellent because you'll see right here that Ice Spirit is going to freeze those minions that I put down, and his Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to be walking right down to the lane. Now, when it comes down to the decision that I made, I probably should have gone with the Mega Minion in this case instead of the minions. Because regardless of what's going to happen right here, that Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to take some damage onto my tower, and those minions can be zapped as long as that Ice Spirit hits them. Now, I only have 3 elixir, so I can't really do a whole lot, and you'll see right here that StalliOnDuck actually makes a mistake in that he does not zap those minions. Now, a zap and an Ice Spirit is 3 elixir, minions are 3 elixir. That's an equal trade, and because he did not do that, I'm actually able to clear his Mini P.E.K.K.A. before that Mini P.E.K.K.A. does too much damage to my tower. If he did try and zap those minions, then I would be forced to try and drop either the Miner or the Mega Minion onto that Mini P.E.K.K.A. My tower would have been nearly gone, and I would not have been able to add some supporting troops behind my Lava Hound. When you're playing against the Lava Hound, it's very important that you make sure that you do successful pushes on the opposite side, or you force your opponent to spend elixir on a lane that they do not want to spend on that, meaning that that Lava Hound is going to be by himself onto the tower. If you can do that, then that Lava Hound isn't going to be that big of a problem as long as you can clear the Lava Pups. With something simple like Zap, or even the Princess would be a great option for doing that. StalliOnDuck does zap the minions there, but not before they're able to get a lot of damage onto that Mini P.E.K.K.A., which is able to stop that push. And now I'm in a perfect setup to get my Lava Hound over there, and he plays down the Hog Rider with some skeletons. Now this was very well executed, because you'll see that he has that Hog Rider right next to those skeletons. Those skeletons are going to help his Hog Rider pull off a Hog push. Now I'm not cycled back to my tombstone yet, but StalliOnDuck does not know that, and so he's trying to avoid that Hog Rider getting to that tombstone. Very well executed. He's able to get a little bit of extra damage onto my tower. And I send down that miner to try and clear up that pump, because I do not want him building up an elixir advantage. Now at this point, he knows that I have the miner, but he also knows that I have a Lava Hound deck, and so it would actually be beneficial for him to start putting his pumps in the back and be ready to defend against a miner coming down there, because the miner in my deck is actually not so much a way to clear pumps as it is to tank damage from the tower right when the Lava Hound explodes and those lava pups go and do some damage on that tower. If I'm able to pull that off, then that is my win condition. I'm able to take a victory. That being said, clearing those pumps with the miner is not as ideal. In fact, it'd probably be better for me to use lightning in those situations. Once again, that being a good reason for StalliOnDuck to be putting down his elixir collectors behind his tower on the opposite lane of what I'm trying to attack. Now you'll notice that I did put that tombstone a little bit too far forward. That's not a good place to put the tombstone, because it's easy to get clear with different troops, like for example the princess right there that is going to be used, and then also for things like musketeers or anything ranged would be able to take that out. Now StalliOnDuck right here, just like many players, is very afraid of those lava pups doing a ton of damage onto his tower. At this situation, he's in the lead. He can sit back and relax a little bit, and what he does is he poisons them and spends more elixir than he has to. He has the zap, and zapping those lava pups is a great way to clear them. Now, the reason why is because only a couple of those lava pups are going to explode out right next to the tower, and the other ones are going to be further away. That gives your tower some time to try and clear them out. You have to time your zap well, and assuming that he's able to do that, the princess might even be able to come in and help clear those. Now, I'm going to try and get rid of that princess because I'm afraid of exactly that happening. Now he's able to defend with some pretty good health still on his tower, but once again, when you're facing against the Lava Hound, you want to try and save as much elixir as you can, so that when I place down that Lava Hound, then you are able to attack the opposite side and take a tower. Now StalliOnDuck has a lot of damage onto my tower. Now that puts me in an interesting situation where it's actually more preferable for me to try and go on the opposite side, so that if he tries to take that tower, I can take out his push with some defending troops of my own. And so I'll go ahead and place that Lava Hound, and StalliOnDuck is going to respond exactly as he should by going on the opposite lane. Now, he read my moves, he knew what I was trying to do, he's played against Lava Hound decks before, as you can tell, and he's putting on this pressure, and that makes it difficult for me to do what I want to do. Now, I have enough elixir right here where I can take out the princess and place down that tombstone. That tombstone is going to add some pressure. Now, I want to tank some damage right there and arrow that princess so that she's not an issue. That mini P.E.K.K.A is not going to be a big problem. I'm mounting my attack right here. It's not hard to see what I'm doing, and because I started my Lava Hound on this side, on the left side, it made it so that I was able to set up a defense that his push was not going to be able to pass, while getting all of my troops up there to support that Lava Hound. And you see me trying to get that miner in there. Now in this case, putting down that poison was actually a really good move on Stallion's side, because it was able to clear up all those defending troops so that that miner wasn't able to do as much damage as he wanted to. Now, I still have this really strong defense where both of his decks are, or both of his main pushes are going to have a difficult time because of that tombstone, and I save my lightning to this moment as an ultimate defense. Now, you don't always need to save the lightning for a strong defense in this deck. In fact, a lot of times it's used to clear things like the musketeer and elixir pumps and stuff like that. But in this case, it was a very beneficial for me to do that. I'll throw down that miner to clear up that princess, activates the king tower, which wasn't my plan, but I'm able to get plenty of damage onto that tower, zap it with that lightning, and at this point, I just need to cycle back to the lightning and the arrows to pull out a victory. Now you can see right here that in this match, Stallion had this match won, and it's because of just a few small, simple little mistakes that ended up costing him the match. Thanks a ton to StalliOnDuck that let me use his replay in this. It takes a lot of guts to let somebody come and coach you professionally in front of so many other people, so a big props to him. If you're wanting to be on Kairos Coaches, follow me on Facebook. There's a link in the description below. This is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in the arena.